As we nestle into the last 2 months of the year, I am going to be sharing with you what I am focusing on when it comes to learning and growing. Myself, our school, the Teacher Let Your Light Shine group. I'm going to be sharing with you the books and the items that I'm going to be investing in hopes that you will walk away inspired and thinking about how you will be impacted with some of the changes that we're making here at Teacher Let Your Light Shine. I can't wait to share this.
Welcome, teacher, to the Let Your Light Shine podcast. If you're searching for the freedom and permission to design the life you love as a teacher, you're in the right place. I'm on a mission to help teachers just like you build their own dream school or homeschooling business. In this present day, the world needs you, teacher friend, to step out in faith and give students an education they love and so deserve. In this podcast, I will teach you how to start a fulfilling and profitable homeschooling business that lights you up. I'm Mackenzie Oliver, former elementary teacher and instructional coach, gone homeschool teacher and business builder. I'm here to empower you to step outside the classroom and choose the experiences, the curriculum, and all the moments that put a smile on your face and your students. Does it seem like a dream? Well, it did to me, until God opened the doors and made it reality. Together, we are breaking through fears and moving the crowd. So get out your notebook, sharpen your pencil. It's time to get your teach on.
I want to kick off this episode saying thank you so much to the very kind person who left a review on the Teacher Let Your Light Shine podcast that stated, "Spectacular information, loving this. I just found your podcast and I'm staying," with the smiley face. We offer online preschool enrichment programs and printable activities to our students and families and are exploring the possibilities of opening a microschool in our area. This is going to be a must listen to help us learn more in a shorter time. I think it is absolutely phenomenal. To whom wrote this wonderful review, I want to say that I truly believe that you, having already started, is going to give you more of an advantage to begin expanding. And that's why I say, even if you haven't started any type of program or schooling yet, whatever first small step you can take is so advantageous. We have many people who are still teaching in the public school system or private, and they are starting off by starting enrichment programs on the weekend or starting something during fall break, spring break, Christmas break. They even are offering some things during the summer, and all of this allows you that in-field experience to get yourself grounded and started. And yes, listening to the podcast is going to give you tons of information. Please make sure, everyone, that you join our Facebook group. We are over 800 members of movers and shakers and change makers who are revolutionizing education. You can head on over to our podcast group. Actually, it's not a podcast group. It's just a lot of people from our podcast are in that group. They found us through the podcast, and that is the Teacher Let Your Light Shine Microschool community. So find us on Facebook, where we also talk not only about microschools, but homeschool hybrid programs, finances, changing careers, the social part, the emotional part, the spiritual part of all of this that's taking place when we are stepping out to make a change. In addition, we just launched a new blog post and a free resource. So head over to teachersletyourlightshine.com/blog. You'll also be able to find our downloadable resources at teachersletyourlightshine.com/resources. And thank you once again for leaving that podcast review. They come in about 24 hours after you leave them. So if you are one to leave a podcast review for Teacher Let Your Light Shine, know that it comes straight to my email. And I read them, I get excited about it, I make a note of it, and I make sure that I read it on the podcast, because it allows everybody who is listening to this podcast know and understand that they are not alone, and that you too are gaining information, you're gaining insight, and you are in the same boat, the same arena as everyone else who is looking to make a difference, and make a difference not only for those around them, but also in themselves. You can leave a review on Apple Podcast. You also want to make sure that you hit the plus sign at the top of this podcast episode so that you are getting notifications, or just when you open up your podcast app, that you're able to see our podcast populate. That's very important. We have a lot of people who listen to the podcast, but they forget to hit that plus sign, and then they're trying to figure out where we are because it's not popping up on their podcast news feed. You can also leave a podcast review in Apple iTunes. It takes less than 30 seconds, and we greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. It'll come straight to my email, and I'll be reading it on the podcast. In November, well, actually I can say that in every month, every season, I'm always learning, growing, focused on developing myself mentally, spiritually, emotionally, developing our business, developing our family. And I wanted to really give you a glimpse into what I'm doing to end this year. Now, there are a lot of pieces that go into this. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not as if when I give you a topic that I'm going to be telling you about, that it's just one of those happens on a Saturday and then I'm done, okay? All of these progressively build on one another. All of them are taking time, and definitely pay attention to the episode coming out after this as I tell you how I am making sure that I'm prioritizing this by the end of the year. And while I share this list with you, I want you to know that these are not hard deadlines. Some of them are soft deadlines, meaning that I'm not on a time frame to get this specifically done. But I do have some hard deadlines that I'm going to be sharing with you. And I want to first start off with sharing what I'm doing to help with my mindset and my spirituality. Okay, I love to read. Love, love, love to read. It is very soothing, very calming for me. My husband just downloaded an app where you can get as many books as you possibly can think of, and it's a shortened version. It's like 15-minute Cliff Notes. For me, I'm not into that yet, although I do love to read. For me, it's not just about the information, it's about the experience. Now, I only read nonfiction. However, I just picked up the first autobiography that I had ever read. It was basically a memoir. And I picked up this book because I found through another podcast, the Tony Robbins podcast. I listened to him. He's like light years ahead of me, and all of us probably, when it comes to business building and just really seeing the change that you want to make in the world have this ripple effect. So I love listening to Tony Robbins. He had a guest on a show called Michael Singer. Michael Singer was teaching the audience about developing your spirituality. And while Michael Singer is into meditating and yoga, which is something that the yoga part I've not been into, but the meditating, absolutely, I listened to him and was very captivated by the things that he was teaching and mentioning. So I bought one of his books called Living Untethered. But really what I didn't realize was that I bought the last of the 3 books that he wrote. And so I'm working my way backwards. After I read The Untethered Soul, or Living Untethered, I immediately went and bought his autobiography. I could not put it down. It is called The Surrender Experiment. I loved reading this book from someone else's perspective about what it was like to go through life and not try to control everything. And it really brought me to this big time inner peace. And it made me really go back to the first year prior to me starting the school. So it really wasn't even the first year. It was the first year that I had left public school, and I didn't have a job. I literally left. I didn't have the savings account. I didn't have anything. All I had was this voice that I believed to be God, who I was really wrestling with about my purpose in life and where I wanted to be and what I wanted to have for my family. And none of it really was ever crystallizing in my mind to start a school. However, if you listened to previous podcasts before, I told the story of when I finally said, I really need help, God. I don't know what you want me to do, especially whenever I was still in public school and I didn't know if I should leave or not. And I'm praying, God, help me. My retirement, I'm almost vested. I'm only 1 year away because I had moved from Missouri to Florida, and I'd only been teaching there for 7 years. So I'm thinking, please, God, tell me that I just need to stay for 1 more year. That just makes financial sense, right? God, please tell me that I need to stay because of my insurance and all of the things that I thought financially made sense. And I heard the voice that said, let go. And this book, The Surrender Experiment, really resurfaced that moment for me. I began thinking about how in our Western culture, we're taught to chase the dream, go after it, hustle, do all the things, plan it all out. And yes, while I do that, I really was humbled to think about what it's like to let it go and to let God take control, knowing that not everything happens because we worked our butts off or because we put in all this extra time. As a matter of fact, it went the opposite direction through what I learned in this book, and that was to embrace the next thing that comes your way and stop resisting all of these opportunities. Stop thinking that you know what's best. Stop thinking that we have all of this incredible amount of power and control over everything that takes place in our life, when really that causes anxiety and fear and frustration. So that book really struck so many emotions in me, and also made me so grateful thinking of the things that God has done for me in our life that had nothing to do with anything that I had planned. Nothing. This school is a total surrender experiment. This school moving to a brand new, unbelievable, 200 times better than where we were going to go because of a flood, that is truly a gift from God. And I think about all of these beautiful blessings in my life, even having my children. I did not know the day and the time that I was going to get pregnant and was going to have these beautiful daughters. Neither did you. Yet we think we have so much control of whether our baby's going to be a boy or a girl and what month they're going to be born in. When truthfully, in my opinion, it's already been planned out, and all we have to do is let go and enjoy what God is giving to us, and also stop resisting opportunities. That was really big for me, to stop thinking that when an opportunity came my way, if it made me feel bothered or anxious or just feeling unnerved about it, that didn't mean that it wasn't supposed to happen. That meant that I was actually being the one who was resisting the change, causing myself emotional disturbances. So the surrender experiment was really great, which leads me into the next book that I'm going to read by him, Michael Singer, and that is Untethered Soul. This is actually the very first book that he wrote, Untethered Soul. Then he wrote The Surrender Experiment, and then he wrote Living Untethered. So I'm actually working my way backwards, but it happened, and it is what it is, and it worked out beautiful. I'm also going to be reading, once it comes in at the start of this week, I'm going to be reading a book called The Power of Positive Thinking. It has actually been available for many, many years. I ordered it off Amazon, and I'm really working on making sure that my mindset is squared away. And again, that Untethered Soul, it is a spirituality book. It is not specifically in terms of a religion. As a matter of fact, the author does quote a lot of the New Testament, the Old Testament. He also quotes many people who do yoga. He has quoted Buddha. But the overall lesson is about living a more peaceful life and working on your highest self when it comes to a spiritual perspective. And physically, you'll be happy to hear that my husband and I are getting a gym membership. I don't know if you'd really be happy to hear that, but we have not had a gym membership in almost 10 years. I really not that type of person to go to the gym, but I love my walks and I love my runs, and I can just tell you that I'm about to be 40 and I just don't think they're cutting it. I also think that I need to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. In addition, I truly believe that going somewhere and doing fun classes is going to spice up my physical fitness. And we are going to go to a place called Esporta, which is a chain, but for me, I wanted the sauna, I wanted the hot tub, and I wanted the Zumba classes, and I wanted just to be able to go in, do some free weights, and leave. I'm really doing this for my mental health, and I'm also doing it. I told my kids I'm going to find some friends. So they laughed, and my daughter said, Mom, are you really going to go to the gym to find friends? And I said, yes, I think it's a great place to go and meet people and network and learn from them. And you never know what can end up happening with it. But I am so happy that it's only $15 a month. I love it. $15 a month, I totally can do that. And I wanted to do this before the new year started. I did not want to wait until the new year started, which a lot of the things that I'm talking about right now, friends, that's why I'm doing the learning and the growing and being very committed and intentional about it, because I know that as the holidays come and as we gear up for the new year, a lot of people slack off during this time, and I want to be stronger when the new year arrives, and I hope that you do as well. When it comes to finance and business, I had recommended in our Facebook group, I had asked the question, if we could sit down and chat over some coffee, what would you ask me? And Sabrina asked, what 5 books would I recommend? And I'm actually going to go back to 2 of the books that I recommended because I need to really fine-tune some things that I was taught in it. And that is How to Grow Your Small Business by Donald Miller and Clockwork. I definitely think that these are books for those who've already started their business. These are not educational books, but these are books that have started your business. And I'm going back because I learned some really incredible pieces of information that I want to go back and harness a little bit better. When it comes to school, what I'm going to be focusing on specifically with curriculum, and I'm really, really excited about this. I actually am partnering with a lady in my neck of the woods here in Longwood, Florida. She is working with me. We used to work together at Seminole County Public Schools. She is now a curriculum innovator, designer. She has been so gracious to make thematic units for free to bring to my school, little discovery boxes. And I said, hey, I really want to work with you and get you in here since you are a teacher. She also had a microschool for 2 years, but the people above her that started, she didn't have the microschool. She worked in the microschool. The owners of the microschool they were 2 partners. They were not able to see eye to eye, and the microschool shut down. Super sad. And so she was the teacher at that microschool, and she believes in what we are doing. She is coming to help us create thematic units and do long-range planning till the end of the year. And yes, I have teachers who can do that, but I want them to focus on teaching and working with our students and progress monitoring their growth, because I think it's so important that they keep students first. And I know that curriculum is so important and long-range plans are absolutely where it's at, but I'm not able to focus on that by myself. And I really wanted someone else who has taught in a micro school to come alongside and help me, and I'm excited to share what that will end up looking like for our community as well, the Teacher Let Your Light Shine community. So stay tuned, because even though we're working on it for our school, I know that I'm going to learn so much and I'm going to be able to teach you as well. In addition, you guys, I'm doing something wild. I'm a wild girl. I'm crazy. I'm crazy over here, guys. And I'm crazy about doing what works best for kids. And I'm seeing that math for year after year has been such a troublesome piece of curriculum for me to find. And I'm making a switch, and I'm piloting a program called Illustrative Math. I love this program from what I've seen, but I'm not doing it for the whole school. I'm actually stopping at the beginning of November. We are embracing this last week of November. We have been embracing illustrative math. We are using the free version, knowing that we will be buying the textbooks if this works out. We have gone to so like illustrative math, im.kindle, Kendall Hunt, kindlehunt.com. So illustrative math, kindlehunt.com. Illustrative math is the creator of the program, and Kendall Hunt is the publisher distributor. So we have gone through there. They have Google Slides for every single lesson. They have pre-assessments. They have formative assessments, monitoring student progress, and unit assessments. And trust me when I tell you that I have not been this particular in the early years of teaching, but if you are looking to really solidify kids in math, you want problem-based, collaborative discussions with your students. You want them to be able to see visually. You want everything to be explicitly broken down. You want to be able to have slides where you can pull it up on your TV or computer. This is it. Now, again, I don't want to just put my name and sign the dotted line saying that this is the overall best, but me and the math teacher that works at my school, we knew we needed to definitely make a change for Math Mammoth. Although our second, third, and fourth graders are doing very well, even our first graders, we are piloting this program for our sixth graders. We have 11 sixth graders, and knowing that they're moving up through 12th grade, seeing that there are some gaps, seeing that there are some students who need to be enriched, we are choosing this math program for a variety of reasons. So I'll be spending the next couple of months really focusing in on beautiful, beautiful transitions in our curriculum and adding even greater pieces. I'm still grateful for what we've started with, and I think that is something that's very important for you to know, is that you will have to make changes. And it's okay to make changes. If you find that something is not working, make the change. Forfeit whatever it is that you've got that's keeping you from being stagnant or keeping you scared to make a change. And as we pilot this program and make the transition, I'll be excited to share more about it with you. You can always ask in our Facebook group or email me at teacherletyourlightshine@gmail.com. Last but not least, what I'm working on for our Teacher Let Your Light Shine community is a wonderful program that we're going to be starting in January that is based on your needs and what you guys have been asking for us to serve you with for the past several months. With building the school and growing it and all of the one-on-one coaching that I do in Teacher Let Your Light Shine, I definitely want for us to come together as a community. Retreats and courses and coaching and programs. And so all of that right now is being fleshed out and planned. I bought a digital course that's helping me with my website, with email marketing, things that I want to be able to learn so that I can teach you guys as well. And I'm really focusing on myself as a coach and as a leader for not only my school, but for you guys. And I want to be the best that I can be for you all. I don't take this lightly. I'm very serious when it comes to serving everybody that I coach, everybody that reaches out to me. I take it with my whole heart. I really do. And we are growing at such a capacity that I'm so close.
Hey, teacher friend. Thanks so much for listening to today's show. I pray it inspired you, touched you, or challenged you in some way, because we are making big shifts and using our teaching gifts for God's glory like never before. I'm so grateful for you. The number one way you can support this show is to leave a written review on Apple Podcasts, and also share this with another teacher. Come join me in the Virtual Teachers Lounge, known as the Teacher Let Your Light Shine Facebook group. Until next time, keep shining your teacher light. The world needs you.